it's the kick.
Like a professional soccer player.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the same.
Precise.
That's why it's too good to wear.
Sometimes don't he say thank you to
Well, welcome back to King Abdulaziz Racecourse for the final day of our press conferences building up to the Saudi Cup on Saturday. And alongside we have the trainer of last year's Saudi Cup winner, Panthalassa, Yoshito Ihagi is alongside, along with Hiroshi, who will translate for us. Yoshito has got 3 runners this time around, including Bathrat Leon, who's back once again in the turf sprint. First off, Mr. Ihagi, welcome back to Saudi Arabia. Great to see you here. You must be thrilled to be back where you enjoyed such a wonderful night last year.
I'm very exciting too.
And just reflect on that night for us. Panthalassa last year was brilliant in the Saudi Cup. He was so strong, so powerful, and nobody could get past him.
It was a kind of a dream moment because we are coming for win for Saudi Cup, and it was dream came true for us. So that was yes.
And we've seen Japanese racing really become dominant on the world stage over the last few seasons. How important for Japan and the racing industry there was the win in the Saudi Cup, do you think, for the whole industry?
Of course, yes, and you know, there are a lot of meaning for winning Saudi Cup last year. That's why there are so many Japanese top horses, you know, joined the Saudi Cup this year.
And how high was your confidence coming into the race last year in Panthalassa and his ability to go on and do what he did?
Well, we got to pick up the barrier number 1. That was I was really concerned for that. But if I can go front, then I thought he will run really good, and he did.
Okay, and you're back with 3 runners this year, including Bathrat Leon, who's back again in the 13:51 turf sprint. How is he ahead of his defence of his crown in that race?
昨年はもう何カ国だイギリス、フランス、サウジ、ドバイ、韓国、もう本当にベテランなんで一番、サウジに来ても幸せそうにしてます。
You know, Bathrat Leon is a like big traveler in the world. He has been UK, France, Korea, and Saudi, Dubai, and he seems like very happy to be back in Saudi.
Okay, he does seem to take his international travel very well. He seems to thrive on that. He drew stall 10 for a horse that likes to go forward. How happy are you with the draw for him?
まあ正直もう少し内が良かったです。
I wish I got more inside barrier number.
Okay, and comparing him to 12 months ago, are you happy with his condition? Is he in the same sort of form as he was last year?
去年ここを勝った後はちょっとあまり良くない時期が続いたんですけども、今回はここに、照準を絞ってフレッシュな状態で来たのでいいと思います。
You know, he didn't not good perform since Saudi, and we did, you know, target on this race. So this time he seems very good condition.
Okay, and you've also got Libyan Glass coming across for the Red Sea Turf Handicap. Just tell us a little about his form and what he's achieved back in Japan.
菊花賞 4着の後ちょっと良くないレースが続いたんですけど、そこで立て直して、向かってます。ただ彼はまだ成長途上なんで、このサウジ遠征がいい経験になってくれればというような思いです。
He did perform Kikasho, which is a Japanese center. He ran very good. After that, he didn't run not very well, but he's still a young horse, and he's still running. So hopefully, this Saudi experience will make him more better horse. So that's hopefully he will be better after. Yeah.
And is he the sort of horse you might like to keep in the good staying races here and then Dubai and maybe into even Europe come the summertime?
オーナーも海外遠征に積極的なオーナーなので、そのようなことを考えています。
Yes, this horse owner is a very much international owner, so he's target on whenever have plan. Yes, we have planned for it.
Okay, and there's been lots of talk, Mr. Hagi, about Forever Young in the Saudi Derby around the track this week. We've heard from the hero as well, telling us how good his form is as well. How do you rate his chances? The international seem to be very scared of him.
I have confidence.
And what's he achieved in Japan? He looked to win a 2-year-old race back in December very impressively.
あれは、左回りとマイルという距離のテストのレースだったんですけども、そのテストに非常に優秀な成績で合格してくれたなと思っています。
Last time he ran the left turn 1 mile race, it was which is like my test for him, and he got great result for me. So yes.
And also you had Continua come across here as well. How would he compare to that horse, and how would he compare this with the sort of horses you've had in this bracket before?
コンティナーが緩いというか、まだ、成長途上だったんですけども、フォーエバーヤングというのはかなり完成度は3歳の今の時期にしては高い馬だと思います。
It's a Continua was still immature this stage because he was big horse too, but compared to Forever Young is a really mature horse for this stage at the moment for this age.
Okay, the international markets have him as an odds-on favourite. Do you see him with that strong of a chance that he's the one they've all got to beat?
Of course, I look at the odds. Yes, suitable.
And they're correct?
Correct.
Okay. Any questions from the floor for Mr. Hagi? We've got a microphone to pass around. Michael, I've got the microphone. Thanks for this. Michael.
About Forever Young. He started off his racing in a couple of 9 furlong races. Cut back to the mile last time in a quicker track. But this is going to be a 1-turn race with a very quick early pace. Will he have enough pace to handle it?
1008、2回走っても、前走戦力、今回また距離短くしてます。その中でそのペースに対応できるというふうに考えていらっしゃいます。逃げるという。
You are wearing nice cap.
Okay.
その前は、ロカロン2回使ってるんで、ペースは問題ないと思いますし、この1351という微妙な距離が、バサレオに非常に合っているという考えです。
Also before like a 9 furlong race, before he was running 6 furlong too. So for me, I don't really think not suitable distance because he loved this distance because this is a weird distance 1351. This is the only one in the world, so that's why I feel he's really adapt well this distance.
And with Forever Young, is he a horse you've got in your mind maybe for going on to Maidan and trying to qualify for Kentucky?
Of course, yes, yes. We'd like to have a point in the UAE Derby, then plan to go Kentucky Derby, yes.
And trip-wise, what do you think is going to ultimately be his ideal distance?
いや、デビューは1800メートルですから、むしろ、 短くなることに不安あっても長くなることに不安はないです。
You know, his debut was at 1800, which is 9 furlong dirt racing. So I was concerned with shorter distance. If go farther, I don't have any issue with it.
Would he be the best three-year-old you had at this stage of his career?
平成の中で調教している中で今のこの時点でフォーエバーエンドは自分が管理したのが一番いいかもしれない。
本当はエルって言って
Mozzarella is better, yes.
Any more questions from the floor? No? Okay. Well, Mr. Hagi, thanks for coming in once again. Wish you all the best on Saturday.
Thank you.
Yes, nice jacket, yeah.
You just want it well cut it.
Who's next? Now. Well, next up this morning, we're delighted to welcome along Richard Fahey, Sadly's first ever runner here in Saudi Arabia on Saturday with Spirit Dancer in the Howdon Neum Turf Cup. It's a new experience for you, Richard, being here in Saudi Arabia. How's the trip gone so far?
Yeah, fantastic. Been well looked after, and horse is happy. So when we come on these trips, it doesn't matter what I think, it's how the horse is. The horse is a dead order, so we're very happy.
And he seemed to, the back end of last year, take to international travel and racing out in the Middle East very well.
Yeah, he's a very late maturing horse. He hasn't raced an awful lot. We always felt he was a decent horse. Just luckily there, he had a good season in England there, went through the ranks, and we always had the Bahrain racing in mind. And we dream a lot. We were thinking of these races in Dubai and everywhere, and sort of didn't over-race him, and everything sort of go to where we want.
And you talk about him not being overly raced as a 7-year-old. You look on the form book, I think 7 he's quite old, but he's not had a lot of experience, and last year was probably his best ever as a 6-year-old.
Yeah, he as a young horse, he just had a few little niggly problems. He's quite a big raw type of horse. I believe in Dubai they call him the super cop. So he's a big plain horse. Just took time, and he's matured well. He's where we felt he could be at some stage. As you say, 7 seems old, but he's definitely at his best now.
And we saw him through last year progressing. York seemed to be his playground, but I thought he took his form to a new level with what he did in Bahrain.
Yeah, we felt that was there in him. I just felt Bahrain was always in my mind last year when he won the strength, so I didn't realise that was a win in your in race. So it was easy going, and that was always the plan. Bahrain. I mentioned it to Sir Alex after he won the Princess. It was a good race in Bahrain there, double the prize money. I think we should go. So of course he was up for that, and luckily it all went well.
And how's the horse been since then? You've had him out in Dubai since he ran 4th in the Jebel Hassel last time.
Yeah, we were quite keen in my mind. I wanted to leave him in the Middle East, but there's just a few complications. When I say complications, you go over 90 days, you're a permanent import.
Okay.
So it was easy to take him home and then bring him back. We sort of backed off him a little bit. He came back from Bahrain quite light, and there was a race in Southwell or a race in Dubai, so I decided to go to Dubai as a prep run.
And you feel that's given him a better chance coming into the Neum Turf, having been out in the Middle East and conditioned himself to the environment?
Yeah, we always feel every trail is different. I always feel you either run off the plane or you go out weeks in advance. So with the opportunity to run off the plane, I just felt he would need to run that plane. It looked that way as well. And of course he's had 4 or 5 weeks to acclimatise, so it's all stuff of dreams, but it's becoming a reality of being get to run and stuff.
And you've had a chance yourself to look around the racetrack here over the last couple of days. What have you made of the facilities and the track, and how suitable that's going to be for him?
You always find the better horses. We don't make excuses for them. It doesn't matter what the track is or the ground. He'll cope with everything. He's run around Chester, he's run well around Chester. Looking at the track with the big dirt track, it does look quite tight. I just walked a little bit this morning there. I'd say it'll ride really well, so I'm not using any excuses at the moment.
And you've had a She-Nor attached to your stable for the last couple of seasons now. He seems like a very cool head as well, especially for these big occasions.
Yeah, Oisin's horizontal. He doesn't worry about anything. It suits me. We don't talk a lot. He knows what needs to be done, and he gets on very well with his horse. So I'm looking forward to it.
And you touched on Sir Alex Ferguson being a part of this, also along with Jed Mason, and there's 3 lads involved there that really seem to enjoy the journey they've been on.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. Not surprised, I don't know what to say, but I was surprised how much enjoyment they got out of the horsemen in Bahrain. I mean, Jed was very animated after the win, and I think Sir Alex was shocked. But since then, they've been to the yard, they took all the staff out and had a party, and it's given them a huge amount of pleasure. I think as a trainer, we don't really respect the pleasure horses give to people. For Sir Alex to be animated and excited, and all the team to be, it was a great win.
And I think didn't realise until just recently as well, this was a homebred for Sir Alex, by Frankel, but for a mare that he's got down in the Hemel Hempstead.
Yeah, I believe he got the covering fee for 80,000. He's quite proud of that. I told him he should go back there, but being a Scotsman, he's not thinking of giving 350 for the covering now. But I believe the cover was at 80,000.
And they seem to have been really taking the journey here in their stride as well and enjoying the experience.
Yeah, that's, again, as trainers, we don't respect, this is a trip for them as well. It's a trip of a lifetime. When I say a lifetime, it's the opportunity to do something different. Without being disrespectful, if we weren't having a runner here today, we wouldn't be here. So it gives us the opportunity to travel the world and see how everything else works.
And it's a strong field. We've got Japanese runners in there. You're coming up again in grade. Luxembourg sets a pretty high standard coming across for Aidan O'Brien.
Yeah, and ran a good solid race in Hong Kong. I think he's got to be a big danger if he turns up in that sort of form. But at the moment, I wouldn't swap my for that. I'm very pleased with him, and he's been training well in Dubai, and he did a really nice piece of work there last week. So no excuses. Everything's gone according to plan. Just got to need a bit of luck from here and see what happens.
And we've got a big date to get out of the way on Saturday, but have you allowed yourself to think of a programme for him back in Europe this summer?
To be honest, no. Hopefully we can go back to Dubai. I've always in the back of my mind wanted to step up to a mile and a half. So we'll try and get him in the mile and a half in World Cup night in Dubai.
Shiva Classic.
Yeah, and we'll give him a little holiday after that. And depending on how he runs, we'll see what happens. But I haven't even thought about that. The plan was to come to the Middle East, and he'll have earned a deserved holiday after that.
But his rating over the last couple of seasons from the low 80s up to the mid 115s or so now, you're getting on the cusp of that very top echelon.
Yeah, it means that we can get him right into all those big races, which is a start. If you get the opportunity to race, then you have a chance of winning them. So I think he's 118 or 119, I'm not sure. He's 119 in England, 118 here. So it gives us the opportunity to pick and choose where we want to go. And with the prize money so big in the Middle East, it's liking to travelling. It'll be on my mind to come back again next year.
Okay, let's open to the floor for any questions for Richard, if there's anything coming through online. Tom's got a question.
Richard, obviously you've got plenty of high profile owners in your yard, but what's it like to have someone like Sir Alex, someone of his stature, attached?
To be fair, when I first started training for him, I was a little bit humbled, as you can imagine. I have some fantastic conversations with him. He's been to the yard 3 or 4 times now, and he is a wonderful man. You can see why he's been a success. But some of the conversations couldn't be repeated, but they are wonderful. You know, it just makes me laugh. And things that you want to ask him about things that happened, he'll give you an honest answer. And I think he knows I won't tell anyone what the answers were. But look, it's a humbling experience. But it's amazing. Even this morning there, we were discussing footballers and horses, and Sir Alex was sort of saying about the track. You know, why we can't run the grass, and I sort of let him to us. Look, we actually race on surfaces there. If we had to train, we wouldn't have many horses left, so we tend to use the artificial surfaces. And he compared it to a very good football team, funny enough, that their training track was quite quick and a lot of the players were getting hurt. So there is comparisons with football and racing. But I've had some fantastic conversations with him, and enjoy every time he rings. He's the only one that rings me with a withheld number, and as a trainer, they're not good numbers to reply to. So I let them ring through and ring him back and say, Sir Alex, have you rung? 9 times out of 10 it is. So I do enjoy training.
And given you're both managing squads in a way, have you managed to learn much from him that you could apply to your own operation?
Yes, but a little bit different. The only difference is man management. We can't talk to those. I'm sure Sir Alex has given a few dusts and downs in his time, and we can't do that for us. But you can compare the 2 years.
Yeah. Michael?
very loyal to Oshinor, and just wanted to hear a little bit about how he matches this horse and how integral he's been to the development, how good this horse has become.
I don't know how to answer this really. I mean, I'm a big believer a good jockey will get over any horse, you know, but his win to run ratio is very high on this horse, so you could argue there that it's been Ocean's definitely helped. He's a quiet rider, as you know, Ocean, and that probably suits this horse. But I think, I'm trying to be rude about poor Ocean, but I think he'd have progressed with anybody, you know, and I always feel a good jockey, you know, you don't worry about him, but I'm delighted to have him. That's not being disrespectful to Ocean.
Good stuff. Well, Richard, best of luck. It's wonderful to see you. It'd be good to see the whole team here as well. We wish you the best on Saturday and for a good outcome for you.
And fingers crossed we just get a bit of a run after.
Good man.
This one? Yes. Okay. Yeah, there was someone here before. Okay. Yes. Very good. Good. Right. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, go from front. Yeah, I love that horse racing. Yeah. Ready. Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you. Lots of European horses there now. Yes, it's I retired in December, end of December, but come back for this one last race meeting. And yes, and
Four press group.
Yes.
So these two.
Almost getting
So
there.
these two finish.
Yeah.
So now this one move up. So this one should be power.
Yes.
And then one more. Two, and then one more after this one.
I do. Yes, not well.
So
I know
today
it will
four.
be. Yeah.
No problem.
Yes.
They move this one
Yes.
forward. So foreign will be last maybe.
Okay.
هو حد يساعدني فانا رفضته عشان ده This is being 4 plus. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus.
Yeah. So this is the fourth one. No, but this one hasn't started yet. This one no.
This one.
Now this one go up, move up. This one move up. So the first no.
This one 4 plus. I think it's
First one, Damien Oliver. That's Damien. Oliver.
Now this.
I think it's this one going on.
You got a schedule?
You remember when we used to ride in Japan for some long time ago?
So.
I had no idea. Am I late or early? Just wait. 10, was it 10 or 10?
Or probably just him. I don't know. Yeah. Because Sakai is also in this group. Sakai.
Yes.
Yeah.
America, he rides Sally Crowder, so he's going to do it for 5. But if Richard turns up, early, I'll get on.
Okay, so there's another jockey. Probably.
Yeah, well, let's get back to it. Sound can be a bit. Yes. I can hear it. Yeah.
Which one? Lisa or Rachel? You know?
I don't know.
supposedly they're looking, they're trying to get big things back.
Really,
Yeah.
He's here.
Yeah, down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's good? Yeah, good.
Well, we're kind of a very appropriate winner in the Saudi Cup on Saturday with Saudi crowd on Gutter Post of Florence Giroux, who is alongside a man who's won a Breeders' Cup Classic, a Kentucky Derby winning jockey as well, and here with a chance in the Saudi Cup. It's great to see you here in Saudi Arabia, Florence. It must be an exciting opportunity for you.
Yes, of course, yeah. Thanks for having me.
And just tell us a bit about Saudi Crown. He's arriving here as quite an unexposed horse, but tell us about his form back in America.
Very good, you don't have nothing wrong. Only one race who was on this base. It was the Breeders' Cup Classic last November at Santa Anita, and got a little bit tired, you know. It was a little longer campaign for him, and very likely horse race. So I'm hoping, you know, he turned the corner from 3 to 4 years old, and like he's a little bit stronger and bigger than he was last year. So hopefully with a few more races under his belt, he will be competitive this time in the Saudi Cup.
And it was a different race coming into Saturday than the Breeders' Cup. That was over a little bit further, and they seemed to go really hard that day, and he just got tired later on.
Yeah, definitely. We went very fast early on, and I think the distance was a little bit far for him. I think he's more suited from a mile to mile and a half, and looked like the 1 turn should be ideal for him.
And have you had a chance to see him out here on the track this week or in the barns?
Not yet.
Oh, yes, okay, that's still to come. And he had a nice prep last time out at Fairgrounds. That was a drop in grade, but it'd be a nice confidence booster for him.
Yeah, definitely. It was like a grade 3. It was a nice race. There was some few grade stakes winner in the race, but he was able to handle those horses very easily, and looked like the time was good, and speed rating came back strong. So we're hoping, you know, it was a nice stepping stone for him, hopefully to be competitive in the Saudi Cup.
And how do you assess the form coming into Saturday? We've touched on the Breeders' Cup. You've got White Barrio coming through from there, Derna Sotogake, who was second. The form lines are there. How would you assess your chance relative to the horses he's run against in the past?
Probably right under White Barrio and some other, but not very far. I think it's a very deep race. I think White Barrio should be or deserve to be the favorite. After that, you know, you can make a case for a lot of other horses. You know, sometimes the Japanese horses could be very strong also. We showed that, you know, in the Breeders' Cup. But Breeders' Cup, I believe, the horse of Christophe, you know, there Sotakake was like, you know, almost 30-1 and mine was 7-1. So hopefully, you know, I can be in this time or I'll be used again.
And we've seen you on the big stage before, British Cup Classic with Gunrunner, who ran a really good second in a Dubai World Cup as well. How much do you enjoy the international challenge and coming out here to the Middle East?
Well, it's a great opportunity, to be honest. You just need the right horse and be the lucky pilot, and so I'm trying to do. Hopefully, don't make many mistakes, you know, during the race, and have the opportunity, you know, from the trainer and the owner to give you this kind of ride and this kind of opportunity to ride some of those biggest races in the world.
And have you had a chance to talk to Brad? Do you know what the plan is from here? Is the horse maybe going to stay out this way and head out to Dubai?
I think it all depends how the horse went on Saturday, and I think how the horse, you know, of course, you know, come back. But I will think it could be a possibility.
Yeah, okay. We'll open up to the floor. Any questions? Mike is poised.
You've been in a similar situation a couple of years ago. Obviously, Saudi horse, trained by Brad, came through the same exact prep race with Mandaloun. Can you talk about just comparing the two horses, and is it black and white, or do they have some similarities? Because obviously things didn't go as planned with Mandaloun.
I think it's a little bit different. Mandaloun came here, you know, ran more. There was a little bit of different, you know, type of horses. I'm hoping it's not the same result. Mandaloun, I believe, was probably the favorite in the race, and beat Midnight Bourbon the time before in the same race in Louisiana, and Midnight Bourbon almost pulled it off, and I lost the entrance of race. So I would say different. Come back to your question, very different, you know, different horses, not the same pattern at all. Mandaloun was at 2 years old, you know, starting in October at Kenon. This guy hasn't started since his first race, I believe, was mid-April. He's 3 years old, so came here less, you know, less polished, and I'm hoping, I know, he's coming into good form right now.
Do you plan to have a sit on the horse before the weekend? And what's he like to ride?
I don't think so, no. I've been on him, you know, many times before. I know him very well. Dick says, by the way, he's here, he's doing the job, you know, perfectly, and usually it's not really my job, you know, to be on him, you know, the few days before the race. Usually I do the major prep walk over there, you know, in the US, and when he comes here, it's just Dick says, well, take it over.
In terms of this race, a lot of pace lined up, horses running style, round one turn. Any concern with what's going to go on up front?
Yes, always a concern. We need to play the break and go from there. Look like there's a fair amount of speed in the race. A lot of them from the inside, from the outside. It's very hard to plan a race, you know, before the gates open. You need to be ready, but not, you know, overly prepared. You know, anything can happen when the gates open. And, I have quite a good idea on who should be, you know, close to me or in front of me, and I take it from there.
And sort of piggybacking on that, he's unexposed, as Martin alluded to, but what he has shown so far is that he excels when he is on the lead and uncontested. Is he one that you feel like absolutely has to be on the front during the lead?
I don't think so, no. I think he's so quick, and like he said, you know, he's been on the lead, and you know, of course, you know, when he's not challenger, he's gonna go, you know, as far as he can go. But his first race, he was off the pace. I believe he was laying third or fourth at Kenon. Was able to run down the horse on the lead. So I'm thinking it's not really what he has to. And sometime in the morning we do walk him behind another horse, and he's fine with it. He doesn't seem to be, you know, upset about it, or he's able to run down the horse, you know, in the walkout very easily too, when he's a little bit behind. So I think it's, you know, we have to have the lead, you know, for him to win the race.
Oh, good. Well, Florian, many thanks for taking the time to join us this morning, and best of luck on Saturday.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you got experience.
Please, gentlemen, keep the mics close to your mouth, okay, please, so we can hear you on the mics. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, go red on the neck. Yeah, that's right. Friday sees the Invest Saudi Jockeys Challenge taking place once again for the 5th year. 14 jockeys, 7 best international male and female riders will compete, and we've got 4 of them here today. Lisa All-Press, we've got David Oliver, we've got Rachel Vanica, and to my right hand side, Ryushi Saki as well from Japan, all taking part this year. We'll hopefully get an idea of the level of competition over the next few minutes as well. But Lisa, it's a welcome back to you. Of course, you were the first woman to ride a winner here in Saudi Arabia in the initial contest back in 2020.
Yes, it feels like a really long time ago, so it's great to get the chance to come back and be here again.
And what was that initial experience like of coming across here to Saudi and taking part in that Jockeys Challenge?
Yeah, it was something completely different, different style, different horses from our neck of the woods, and obviously a long way to come. Didn't really know what to expect, but just absolutely loved it. And like I said, the thrill of riding out there and being with some of the best international jockeys from around the world as a jockey, it's something that you aspire to achieve, is to ride against the best of the best, and that's what I got 5 years ago, and looks like I've got some pretty stiff competition again this year.
I'd say so. You're surrounded by quite a few of them this morning. And coming back into the race course as well, you must see a big change to how things have developed here in those 4 or 5 years.
Well, flying into Saudi, coming through the airport, you could tell the changes straight away, and it's a good thing. Yeah, it's obviously people are very welcoming, and they treated us very well last time, and I can't speak highly enough of the competition.
And just tell us a bit for people who are tuning in for the first time about your career back home and what you've achieved. You've been 4 times Premier Leader?
Yeah, I've won the championship twice and won the premiership 4 times. Cracking on to 2,000 winners, so first woman in New Zealand to ride 1,000, and I'm hoping, well, yeah, that's the goal, is to get the 2,000 this year, and then probably look to hang up the boots.
So if you're coming towards the end of your career, which has been so successful, another winner here in Saudi, the Jockeys Challenge, must be on the list, quite important to you.
It is, you know, I didn't think I'd ever get the chance to come back, so to be able to come back and in my final year of riding is pretty special, and I'm making the most of it.
And what do you make of the strength of the opposition this year?
Well, obviously riding with people like Damien Oliver, who I've looked up to in my entire career, is, you know, it's pinnacle of riding really, and yeah, it's great to be involved in this, and Ryan Moore also, you know, these are jockeys that you look up to from when you first start riding, so I don't think I'm probably just a few years younger than Damien, so we've been around about the same time.
And David, it's a warm welcome along to you. I guess emulating what Glenn Moss did a couple of years ago, coming back out of retirement, but he had a wonderful career that ended in the best possible way back in Perth in December.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, but an exciting opportunity for me to come out of retirement. Only 2 months ago that I retired, and had a wonderful farewell day riding my last 3 rides winners, so it was kind of a bit bittersweet to not finish on that note, but I'm hoping I can still go out a winner here in Saudi, and when I see the list of the jockeys that are here, you know, both accomplished and not so accomplished, I'm really excited to ride against some of the, you know, best jockeys that I've ridden against, but also keen to see some of the younger ones that I haven't ridden against as well, to see you know, how they're progressing, and see the next generation coming through as well.
I remember having a conversation with Glenn when he came, and he said, well, I've achieved a lot in my career, but Saudi's a new opportunity, so it's something I just wanted to fit in before I finally retire. Was that a similar thing for yourself?
Yeah, well, coming from Australia, we're not really familiar with Saudi racing, so yeah, I was excited by the challenge just to see what it was like, and you know, I think we're seeing a lot of European horses coming down to Australia. We haven't seen many horses coming from the Middle East yet, but I think that's going to happen in the future, and it's exciting, always exciting to see and make new connections, you know, for the future as well. And you know, I just can't wait to see what Friday and Saturday beholds for us coming up.
And it was only back in December that you finished up in Perth, so I guess the fitness levels haven't had too much of a time to drop off a cliff yet, and you've been out riding barrier trials as well back home.
That's right, yeah, I knew about a month ago that I was coming here, so I've kept myself pretty fit. I'm glad the weights are a little bit higher, so I don't have to lose too much weight. But yeah, I'm keen to go out a winner, hopefully on my last day riding.
And just give us your reflections on your career. 3 times Melbourne Cup, you had Cox Plates, huge success in Australia. I think 129 Group 1 winners.
Yes.
What would be the sort of the moments you'd pick out as being sort of the defining moments in your career?
Yeah, obviously those major races we have in Australia, like the Melbourne Cup, the Cox Plates, Caulfield Cup, Golden Slippers. But just proud of the fact that I've ridden at a high level for, you know, over 4 decades, and had success around the world as well, in Hong Kong, and you know, I rode a little bit in Europe, not that much, a little bit in Japan as well, back in the day, and yeah, I've always enjoyed travelling around the world and having success, and to have one more chance on the international stage is something I'm really looking forward to.
And how much interest has there been? I mean, racing's big in Australia. How much interest has there been in you coming out of retirement and coming across here throughout the country?
Yeah, it has got a little bit of interest, you know, because there's been some conjecture whether people thought I might have retired a little bit too early, but and then when I walked into the track work about a month ago, people said, oh, he's back already, but then I announced that I was coming out to ride at Saudi, and since then the interest has been quite strong. So yeah, it's, there's a few media come over here with me, and yeah, I think it's certainly gaining some recognition, and I think it's only going to continue to grow more recognition as well.
I think you retired with 3,168 winners to your name, so what would it mean to go out with what, 3,169 or 3,170?
Yeah, it would be a nice exclamation mark on the end of my career if I could win on a big international stage like this, and yeah, it's something I'm really looking forward to.
Well, we hope you have a great time. So we've got Damien, we've got Rachel Venniger as well from South Africa has come across, a champion apprentice there as well. And this must be a huge opportunity, Rachel, to come and race alongside a couple of legends to your right hand side.
Yes, absolutely incredible. You know, names like Ryan Moore, Damien Oliver, these all Chris all being on the list, it's something we don't experience much in South Africa. We've got a few international riders who've come once or twice, but nothing to this extent.
And tell us how you first got engaged in the process of coming across here to Saudi.
It was more just they just called me one day, I got an email, and that was that. I'm away.
No second thought about coming out?
No, definitely not.
Okay. And your career back home, just tell us how you first got into racing. Was being a jockey something you always had high on the list?
Yes, it has been, but back home in South Africa, females are not really ever jockeys. So I began as a track work rider when I was 14, and I fought to get into the academy. We have to go through a jockey academy in South Africa. When I eventually got in, they said, oh, you can try. And since then, my first season I was champion apprentice, second season champion apprentice, and now I'm here.
And you must have a great deal of drive and determination to achieve what you have done, given the constraints of where you've come from.
Yes, my goal is of course to change those constraints, but it did take a lot of determination, but once I got the ball rolling, it was quite smooth sailing.
And that must be, I guess, nice to be here if you're looking to change that perception back home as well, to be here mixing it with the sort of jockeys you're going to be running against over those 4 races tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
And how much inspiration have you taken from the likes of Lisa or Holly Doyle and Hayley Turner back in the UK as to what women can achieve in the sport?
Yes, a massive amount. You know, if you can do it across the world, it can surely be done at home. So it is a massive inspiration.
And you're at the very early stages of your career, but what kind of dreams and ambitions do you have, be it in South Africa or coming across the ride elsewhere in the world?
Yes, there are definitely dreams of elsewhere. I've got to check off the boxes at home. I want to win a couple of our big races. We've got the July Handicap, the Cape Town Meet. We've got a number of Group 1s that I'd like to check off before getting across the world, but I'll be looking to ride overseas as well.
Okay, wish you the best of luck as well. We also have Arisi Saki as well from Japan, a man who's enjoyed success here in Saudi Arabia, back at Lyon last year winning the turf sprint. It must be exciting to be back for you once again.
So yeah, this is his first time, fourth time to be in Saudi Arabia out of 5 Saudi Cup, previous Saudi Cups, including this year, and this is the first time to participate in the International Jockey Challenge, and it will be brilliant to be here and to compete against world best.
And who are the names he's especially looking forward to taking on in the 4 races? And as regards international racing, I think you rode down in Australia as an apprentice. The international competition must be something that he's really taken on board from an early stage.
Of course, there's so many good jockeys in Japan and outside of Japan, and competing them is there's opportunity in Japan as well. But like this is great opportunity to compete against the legend of Australia in Damien Oliver in here. This is great experience to improve my career and level as a jockey.
And who would have been the jockeys growing up that you enjoyed watching and you may have based your style around?
日本ではもちろん武豊さん、僕のヒーローです 父親がジョッキーをやっていたので、父親が僕の師匠です。
Of course, Japanese racing Shitakatake when he was young, he's watching Take always, and also, his father, Hidemitsu, is ex-jockey, currently trainer in the NRL truck. His father would be his master.
Okay, that's nice words. Any questions from the floor for any of the jockeys taking part in the Jockeys Challenge tomorrow? No? Perfect. Well, look, we wish you all the best, Raisi, Rachel, Damien, and Lisa as well. We're doing about one. Sorry, yeah, okay. Beg your pardon.
Just for Damien, what's the process been coming back? And boxer going into a fight, and what is this all mental riding a bike? There's all these different things people say about coming back. Where are you right now mentally and physically?
Yeah, look, it's only been 2 months since I last rode, so it's not too long. And I was probably, I'm going to say about a month off the horse, and then, I've been riding some training the last month back at home to keep myself in shape. So I didn't lose too much fitness. As soon as I knew I was coming to ride at this meeting, I like to keep myself pretty fit anyway. I surf and play golf, and I do boxing a few times a week as well. So my fitness is still quite good, not quite as match fit as I probably would be normally, but I think good enough to be riding at this meeting, and the fact that the weights are a little bit higher is certainly helping my cause a little bit. If the weights were a little bit lighter, I might have been in a bit of trouble, but I'm really looking forward to it, and having one last crack, it's definitely helping that it's only been 2 months. If it had been a longer extended period of time, it would have been more difficult for me to have my fitness at the level required, but the fact that I'm still in pretty good shape from a busy year last year, that I still feel I'm travelling okay.
Kim, you've been involved in racing since the late 1980s, that month you had off before you started to come back for this. How much of a hold did that leave in your life?
Yeah, look, I've been doing some work with Entain in Australia, so I'm keeping involved in racing, more so, on the sidelines and the media side of racing. But certainly racing is something I want to stay involved in, whether that's, in the media side or the bloodstock side. It's been a big part of my life, all my life basically, so it's something I want to stay involved in, and I'm not sure what direction that'll take. I really want to take a bit of a breath over the next 12 months and see what it's like on the outside looking in, but I'll certainly look to stay involved in racing.
Okay.
Ollie, if you win over the weekend and someone rings you up for a Golden Super Ride or All-Star Mile Ride, what are you going to say?
If it's a good one, I might have to think twice about it. Yeah.
Seriously, is that something you would be open to, is continue your career for that a little bit longer?
Oh, look, it hasn't been easy stepping away, but look, I'm 51 years old, I've had a great career. I certainly wanted to go out at a high level. I didn't want to be just, making up the numbers, so to speak. And yeah, so look, I felt the time was right. I felt like I wanted to go out with a little, I would rather go out a little bit too soon than too late, if you know what I mean, rather than getting tapped on the shoulder. So I felt like I left riding at a high level, and I've had a pretty fortunate career. You don't have this job without having your ups and downs, and we all of us here have had plenty of those. But I feel content that I've had a good career and left at a good time.
So you're not going to do a tutorial on us and be riding off into the future?
No, I can't see that happening. I'm pretty content with myself at the moment, and while I have been watching Frankie, and I actually watched his movie up the plane on the way over and enjoyed that, but my retirement only went for about 3 months. I don't know how Frankie did the whole year. We all know how good Frankie is and how much a competitor he is, and it's great to see him still going well in the US.
Yeah, and throwing over there as well. One more as well.
Rachel, back in Australia, we've got a lot of jockeys, female jockeys, making big waves, and I think we were talking to Ollie on the plane. I think 60 or 70% of the apprentices are female jockeys back home. I was surprised to hear that it was a fight for yourself to get into the jockey ranks in South Africa. Do you think that you're out to prove a point over the next couple of days?
Probably am. I'm always out to prove a point. Just talking back on why they wouldn't have the academy, they've got very specific criteria that one needs to fulfill, and I think I didn't actually fulfill any of them. They thought I was going to get heavy, too tall, and just too many problems. I've managed to keep my weight down. I am tall, can't change that unfortunately, but hopefully this will prove a little point, and it seems that they've made the restrictions a bit easier back home. They've got 2 girls who are apprentices at the moment. Hopefully they'll start racing sometime and build up from there.
Good stuff. Well, that concludes it. So we wish you all the very best for tomorrow. Enjoy the experience, and we'll hopefully be talking to some of you after racing tomorrow. Thanks to you all.
Thank you.